Hi there, very happy to see you on our channel again. Today we give you a piece of breaking news from People magazine. A new memoir reveals the juicy details of Princess Diana's wild night with a rock legend. It's the late 1980s and you're in a London gay bar on what appears to be just a normal night out. Then suddenly you spot two of the world's most famous people having a boogie in the corner. Weirdly enough, an iconic rock star seems to be dancing the night away with someone who appears to be Princess Diana in drag. And while this may sound completely beyond the realms of possibility, it really did happen, according to actress Cleo Rocos at least. Rocos made that surprising claim in her wittily titled memoir, The Power of Positive Drinking. And as it turns out, the Brazilian-born star has had quite the colorful career herself. Originally, she started out in the world of professional skateboarding before going on to serve as a producer for a West End staging of The 7-Year Itch. She's arguably best known, however, as being the regular sidekick of the late British comedian Kenny Everett. In fact, Everett was supposedly also in attendance on the night that Princess Diana allegedly rocked up to London's most historic gay pub. As the story goes, the flamboyant funny man had spent the entire day with Diana, enjoying reruns of The Golden Girls and sipping champagne alongside Rocos and one of the rock world's most memorable frontmen. Then, at one point, the foursome decided to hit the town in style. And this wasn't the first time that Diana had mixed in showbiz circles. Indeed, the late royal was renowned for her unlikely friendships with all kinds of famous figures, including, it seems, Michael Jackson. According to Jackson's one-time bodyguard, Michael Matt Fetus, the king of pop and the Princess of Wales regularly used to call each other up for chats. Yet, while Diana only met Jackson in person once, she enjoyed far more face-to-face time with another star who had similarly been thrust into the spotlight at a young age. According to Hello magazine, Liza Minnelli reportedly once said of Diana, "I was first introduced to her when she came backstage after a concert I did in London. Then we'd bump into each other at premieres or events where she'd be the guest of honor. We'd fall into conversation, then we'd meet for tea. My instinct was to protect her." George Michael also got the chance to meet Diana several times throughout his career, although he once admitted that his behavior may have prevented them from becoming even closer friends. In 2006, the pop icon told the Irish Independent, "I kind of felt guilty because Diana did really like me as a person, and I tended to shy away from calling her because I thought she must have so many people calling her for all the wrong reasons." And on occasion, the Princess of Wales rubbed shoulders with Hollywood stars. In 1992, she apparently even forged a friendship with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman at the premiere of their Irish-set movie drama, Far and Away. The power couple would go on to attend the royal's funeral in 1997 and reveal their devastation at her death in an interview with CNN. In 1995, meanwhile, Diana and her sons, William and Harry, visited Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's ranch. The A-list couple had invited the princess 4 years previously during their introduction at a screening of firefighting film drama Backdraft. And in 2016, Russell said on talk show The Project that he and Hawn had made the offer to help Diana escape from the constant press intrusion. Plus, of course, the ever-stylish Diana was friends with Gianni Versace, one of the fashion world's biggest names. And following the designer's shocking murder in the summer of 1997, she revealed in an official statement that she had been devastated by the loss of a great and talented man. Just a few months later, Diana herself would famously meet a similarly untimely end. Another of Versace's buddies, Elton John, would famously perform a tribute to Diana at her televised funeral, with his reworking of Candle in the Wind ultimately becoming the best-selling single of all time. The royal and the Rocket Man had been close ever since they had been first introduced to each other in the early 1980s. And Diana had also once used her celebrity connections to play a prank on her oldest son. In 2017, William recalled returning home from school only to find supermodels Naomi Campbell and Christy Turlington at the top of the staircase waiting for him. Naturally, the future king was left more than a little flustered by his surprise. William told viewers of the TV documentary Diana, Our Mother, Her Life and Legacy, "I was probably a 12 or 13-year-old boy who had posters of Campbell and Turlington on my wall, and I went bright red and didn't quite know what to say and sort of fumbled. I think I pretty much fell down the stairs on the way up." What's more, Diana was apparently just as mischievous when it came to picking greeting cards for her son. William added, "I would be at school and I'd get a card from my mother. Usually she found something, a very embarrassing, funny card, and she'd then sort of written a very nice stuff inside, but I didn't open it in case teachers or anyone else in class had seen it." In the same documentary, Harry also discussed his late mother's distinct sense of humor, saying, "Behind closed doors, she was a loving mother and an incredibly funny person. One of her mottos to me was, 'You can be as naughty as you want, just don't get caught.'" But William and Harry seemingly weren't the ones to have witnessed Diana's naughty streak firsthand. Indeed, Diana, Our Mother, Her Life and Legacy revealed that at one time the princess's personal chef, Darren McCready, was left decidedly red-faced. Why? Well, his boss had asked for a cake deliberately designed to embarrass him, one shaped like the biggest pair of boobs. And in 2019, Diana's personal trainer, Carolyn Brown, told the Daily Mail that her most famous client also enjoyed messing with Princess Michael. She explained to the newspaper, "Once, Diana waited for Princess Michael to come out and get into her car, and then she ran down in her skimpy gym outfit and waved her off." Diana had a huge sense of humor. There was no edge or snobbery about her, and she really loved a dirty joke and to play pranks on people. Michael Cole, formerly a royal correspondent for the BBC, revealed to the same newspaper, "Princess Diana and the Duchess of York were friends from way back, and Fergie was also up for any devilment that occurred to Diana, like livening up an afternoon at Royal Ascot by poking the royal equerry Major Hugh Lindsay in the back with their parasols when they spotted him walking along the paddock." But it seems that those who tried to play Diana at her own game may have been left rueing their decision. In 2020, a former confidant of the princess, Dr. James Colehurst, told the Daily Express how he once had adorned the royal's car with a string of tin cans that would clang when she drove. Later that same evening, however, he received a phone call from Diana asking him how his own vehicle was. Colehurst recalled, "I moved to the window and saw my car under the streetlight, covered in flour with eggs on top. I had to wash it off quickly because it goes quite hard." That was fairly much Diana's line of fun. The doctor also revealed that the princess was a master of the one-liner. In fact, Diana appeared to have quite the comic range, as it's said that she was similarly a dab hand when it came to impressions. In 1997, Vanity Fair's Kathy Horan wrote, "Apparently Diana is a terrific mimic, not unlike the late Jackie Kennedy." Friend Marguerite Littman was said to be the inspiration for the funniest princess impersonation. Unfortunately, though, one-time royal photographer Ken Lennox believes that Diana's rebellious attitude caused friction in her marriage. He revealed to the Daily Mail, "Whereas Camilla was totally acquiescent to everything Charles wanted or said or did, Diana was a young girl with different ideas. If I turned up at something I wasn't supposed to turn up to, she would point her finger at me and wag it, but it was always with a smile on her face." That said, Diana certainly wasn't ashamed of the fact that she liked to break from the royal norm. In the revealing 1995 BBC interview with Martin Bashir that captivated audiences across the world, the Princess of Wales proudly stared in front of the camera, "I don't play by a rule book. I do things differently." That's something to which Rokos may be able to attest, as she claims to have seen Diana letting her hair down on one particular evening in the late 1980s. In The Power of Positive Drinking, the comedian wrote that she was once enjoyed out a night on the town with the princess, Kenny Everett, and another very famous friend, Freddie Mercury. And supposedly the Queen frontman was responsible for instigating it all. According to Rokos, she and Everett had initially had concerns about allowing the princess to join them for a spot of partying in the capital. After all, Diana was unarguably the most famous woman in the world at that point, and so the pair believed that she may have been opening herself to further press scrutiny if word of the ploy somehow got out. Mercury, on the other hand, reportedly had a much more cavalier attitude about the whole thing. In her autobiography, Rokos claimed that the rock star, in full mischief mode, believed that Diana should throw caution to the wind, and apparently Mercury therefore told both Rokos and Everett, "Go on, let the girl have some fun." Of course, even the more carefree rock star realized that a world-famous royal couldn't go to a gay bar without some form of disguise. So how exactly did the singer and his pals manage to sneak Diana into a packed London pub? Well, if Rokos is to be believed, they decided that the best course of action would be to dress the princess as a man. Indeed, Rokos recalled that the foursome only stepped foot outside the door once they were convinced that Diana could pass for a rather eccentrically dressed gay male model. And the comedian admitted that she was impressed with the results of their makeover, adding to the princess, "She did look like a beautiful young man." But were the patrons of the Royal Vauxhall Tavern just as convinced? It appears so, as Rokos recalled that the party of four were initially able to inch to the bar through the leather thongs and thongs. Then, once again, a heavily disguised Diana was apparently free to order a round of drinks without anyone batting an eyelid. "We were nudging each other like naughty school children," Rokos continued. "Diana and Freddie were giggling. Once the transaction was completed, we looked at one another, united in our triumphant quest. We did it. Even so, the group reportedly decided not to push their luck too much and left after just 20 minutes. And Rokos later admitted that she was just as surprised as anyone at allegedly managing to pull off the stunt. She wrote, "When we walked in, we felt she was obviously Princess Diana and would be discovered at any minute. But people just seemed to blank her. She sort of disappeared. She loved it." Rokos has spoken about this memorable evening since then, too. In 2017, she revealed to radio DJ James Whale that one person had needed convincing more than anyone to hit the town with a royal in tow. And perhaps surprisingly, that member of the group was her flamboyant partner in crime. Yes, Everett was apparently worried that the Royal Vauxhall Tavern wasn't a place for the Princess of Wales to be. Rokos explained. He said, "Oh, darling, you can't come. It's a hairy gay man's pub. Sometimes there are fights outside, and I can see the headlines tomorrow. Future Queen of England dies in gay bar brawl." The tale of the big night out was even adapted for the small screen in British anthology series Urban Myths. Sophie Rundle portrayed the Princess of Wales in the episode, while David Avery and Matthew Bainton took on Mercury and Everett, respectively. In this fictionalized account, however, Rokos was nowhere to be seen. Still, the comedian may have been pleased to hear that the story had caught the attention of the Hollywood actor. During a red carpet chat at the 2019 SAG Awards, Bohemian Rhapsody star Rami Malek revealed the most surprising thing he had learned while preparing to portray Mercury in the movie. Malek told People magazine, "There was one moment that I hear Mercury took Princess Diana and disguised her as a man and took her into a bar just so they could have their own fun moment without anyone else being aware. Now, I don't know if that's true. This might be an urban legend." But the reputed Royal Vauxhall Tavern trip wasn't the only occasion on which Diana and her famous pals are said to have mingled. In 2013, Rokos admitted to The Independent, "I have fantastic memories of drinking with Princess Diana. She would regularly sneak out on her own in disguise to go places around the corner from the palace." Rokos continued, "I remember drinking peach bellinis with her, Kenny, and Freddie Mercury at the Bombay Brasserie nearby before we all went up to Kenny's penthouse to continue drinking. I'll never forget watching Diana, Kenny, and Freddie dancing around the lounge to the Gypsy Kings, each waving one of Kenny's feather dusters in the air." Sadly for lovers of the legend, though, there is one man who has claimed that the Royal Vauxhall Tavern trip didn't actually happen at all. In 2019, Peter Freestone, a former assistant to Mercury, explained to the Daily Express that the Queen frontman had never even met Diana, let alone lured her to a gay bar in drag. And apparently, Mercury had turned down the chance to get acquainted with the famous royal at one of the most historic music events of the 1980s. Freestone said, "Even at Live Aid, you see Brian May and Roger Taylor in the royal box. Freddie didn't go. He was more interested in being with friends backstage, talking with Elton John and hanging out with his own people. His friends were always the most important to him. But could at least half the story be true?" How about you? Do you believe the juicy details of Princess Diana's wild night with a rock legend? Please let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share with your own followers. And as always, subscribe to our channel for all the latest news on the royal family right here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.